Multiversus is dead. This has been a big talking point, especially over the past month or so. So many videos popping up telling me the game is dead, or it's dying, or it's already past its expiration date. But it's incredibly sad when you try to boot up the game and not a single person can log into the game servers, because the game is dead. Whoa, wait a minute. How did I get in? How did I get into the game servers? I thought this game was dead. If the game is dead, then the servers can't be online. What kind of wizardry is this? Okay. Maybe all the dead game videos are a bit misleading. Or maybe I'm misinterpreting what they mean. Okay, all those dead game videos, they probably just mean that nobody's playing the game. Oh yeah, because if you try to jump into a match, you're probably going to wait half an hour and get timed out and, oh, would you look at that? I already found a match. And none of the players are bots? Something fishy's going on here. Okay, wait. Okay, this time I got it. Third time's the charm. I figured it out this time. All the haters, all the naysayers, they must mean that there's no new content coming to the game. Oh yeah, that's a fair point. If there's no new content, then is the game kind of dead? Sure. I mean, we can't just look at something as simple as, hey, season 3 starts on September 17th, and a new season's gonna bring a new battle pass, which brings a new character, and not the battle pass, but there's also going to be a new stage right at the beginning of the season, and then don't forget the mid-season update, most likely bringing a second new character, a second stage, and who knows whatever else they might want to bring in. Maybe there's a new game mode, maybe we get tournaments or something in game, or what about new perks coming to the game? I guess, or even just balance changes in general, but none of that counts as new content. So yeah, I guess as long as we take all that information and we say everything that is coming to the game, that just doesn't count. That's fair to say, right? All the new content coming to the game, no, that doesn't count as new content. Okay, so far, 3 indications of what a dead game would actually be have been proven wrong. So what in the world is going on? Is Multiversus actually dead? Oh, I'm missing the most obvious answer here. When people say the game is dead, they only look at Steam charts. Oh, okay, well, let's go take a look at that, shall we? And look, what you see that? Multiversus Steam chart. I mean, currently it's 3:02 in the morning, so 3:02 a.m. Okay, there you go, but it says over 2,400 player peak in the past 24 hours. 2,400's not bad. I ain't gonna sit here and say, the game is thriving. No, okay, don't twist my words, but 2,400 people, that ain't bad. That's not bad for a fighting game. And we got stats on fighting game as a preferential genre coming up later to back up some of my data here, but 24 hours, 2,400 people, that's not too bad, and especially considering that's only one platform. I mean, obviously only the smartest of smart people are going to look at just 1/3 of the data, right? Only the smart people are going to look at Steam charts and then make a final decision on if the game is dead or not, right? I mean, there's no way that Multiversus being in the top 40 most downloaded games back in June on PlayStation, I think they started at like number 6 or something, no way that means anything. Okay, I hear you. That was back in June. Okay, that's fair. What about we flash forward a month to July then? Okay, well, what about the most downloaded free-to-play games on PlayStation in July? Well, would you look at that? They're in the top 10 at number 9. I guess, okay. And I'm sure if I look up Xbox, it's going to be the same, pretty similar numbers, right? But as always, Steam charts apparently are the be-all, end-all in terms of data. So take all the console data, take all the console players that are playing the game, and, just throw it in the bin, because apparently that doesn't count. So like I just said, a few seconds ago, only the smartest of smart people are going to use 1/3 of the possible data before making a final decision on something, right? It's almost like, imagine you being a chef back in the kitchen, right? You read the first third of the recipe ingredients, and then you just decide to rip up the last 66.7% of the recipe and go, only the first third is what really matters for it. The rest of it is nothing. It doesn't even count. It's not even there. So, imagine being a world-class chef and acting like that. Well, let's circle back to the Steam charts for a second. Let's take a look at a couple other games that are at least similar in genre to Multiversus. So let's start with Brawlhalla. Well, as you can see here on Steam charts, it says over 14,000 player peak in the past 24 hours. Now, obviously, that's a much bigger number than Multiversus, so congrats to Brawlhalla. Although, isn't like every character very similar to every other character in the game? Game's just not for me. I'm not hating on it, I'm just saying. That aside, putting that aside, Brawlhalla, 14K players in the past 24 hours, not bad at all. Not bad at all. What if we take a look at a different fighting game, a more traditional one, if you will, Tekken 8. That's a very recent fighting game. Well, 7,300 player peak in the past 24 hours. So I don't know how these rules work. Can I declare Tekken 8 dead because it doesn't have 10K players? How does that work? I'm not sure, but 7,300, that's still a lot of people. You name 7,300 people you know. That's right, you can't because you don't have friends. So here's my point. For fighting games in general, they do not have a massive number of players for their game. They will have a very dedicated core fan base, a core group of players that stick with the game. And Multiversus at least has it where it's a free-to-play game, so they can constantly try to get new players in. At least they got that going for it, so hopefully, that can keep them afloat for a little bit longer than these other games, right? When you got other games that are 60, 70, $80+ price tag, well, casual players aren't going to really go for that. But if it's a free-to-play game, you ain't really got nothing to lose, right? Who knows? You might even enjoy the game. But now take a look at this study that I found, and this is quite interesting for data, and it goes over genre of games and popularity. So it breaks it down pretty cool. As you can see, the first one here, action, then adventure, then RPG, then strategy, and then fighting genre in total is 39.3%. It's under 50% in terms of popularity for, genre of games. And as you can see, the little snippet down there of writing, whatever that was, they go on to mention that action genre is, pretty much the most popular thanks to like Fortnite and stuff like that. So again, this study is from a couple years ago, but I mean, it's at least one of the most recent ones I could find, so I had to go with this. But fighting games not even being at 50% in terms of being, popular, that kind of says a little something, right? So let's move on to this. It now breaks it down by age groups, and this is quite interesting. Genre for fighting games, 13 to 17-year-olds, 2.6% actually prefer fighting games over everything else. And then only action has positive preference. Then you can see all the other games. So fighting games for 13 to 17-year-olds, number one preference apparently. But watch as fighting game goes down as everybody gets older in their gaming years. 18 to 22. Where did fighting get to? The bottom, second to the bottom, negative 0.4% preference for this age group. Oh, okay. This is going to be a trend. Watch this next one. 23 to 27-year-olds. Where's fighting? Now at the bottom at negative 3.7%. People do not prefer to play fighting games in their, upper teens and into their 20s and 30s. People just do not prefer to play it. So if people are not preferring to play this genre, then you can't really base it off of a total player count because, again, player count doesn't necessarily mean it's the final statistic to determine if a game is dead or not, right? As long as you got that core group of fans that are coming back and, you get some that are spending money to keep the game alive and all that, then the game's fine. It's not dead at all. But let's look at the next genre here, or the next age group, 28 to 32. Where's fighting game? Down there at the bottom again, negative 4.3%. People just do not prefer to play fighting games. Next age group, 33 to 42. At least it bumped up a little bit. It's now third from the bottom, but 3.4% of the age group prefer to play fighting games in this one. So this is some crazy stuff. Again, my data is saying people don't prefer to play these fighting type of games. So if they don't prefer to play it, well, then we can't judge it. Overall, if it has a lower player count than you think is a normal number. And who's to say what a normal number is? We've seen with Brawlhalla, they got their, over 14,000. And that's a free-to-play game, right? I think Brawlhalla is free-to-play. Haven't played that in a couple of years, but free-to-play, that's good. It gets people to come in and, play it and try it out whenever they feel like it. Plus, they got all sort of collabs that they do. Although, again, characters kind of feel the same. It's been a while since I played Brawlhalla, so who knows? Maybe all the genres, not the genres, but maybe all the collabs that they do. Don't they have a Star Wars one or something? Maybe that's what draws in players and, keeps them around. So, good stuff. Now imagine if Multiversus was able to do something similar to that for Brawlhalla. Maybe they collab with, I don't know, something from Marvel for whatever reason. You imagine that pull that they could do? Again, Marvel and DC. Could you imagine? Could you imagine how big that would be? A free-to-play game where you can play as some Marvel characters and face off against some DC characters. That'd be a huge draw. Not saying it's ever going to happen, but I'm just saying, could you imagine? But again, the point is, Multiversus is not dead in the least. They got their core fan base. They got the people that are sticking around to play the game. And, well, as long as it's, I don't know what number the devs need to see or the studio needs to see per month, but I guess as long as they think they're making a profit somehow, then it's good for them. As long as they got player count and everything, who am I to judge? Only the studio can really say how good a game is doing. And, well, at least right now, the game's online. New season's starting very soon, so the game is more than alive.